Let's start with something you know, something you feel every moment of every day: time. You woke up this morning, didn't you? You probably checked a clock, maybe on your phone, maybe on your wall. That clock told you it was time to get up, time for breakfast, time to head out into the world. We live our lives by this invisible ruler. We schedule meetings for 3 p.m. We celebrate birthdays once a year. We count down the seconds to a new year. Our entire civilization is built on a shared agreement about what time it is. It's a fundamental part of our reality, as solid and dependable as the ground beneath our feet. Or is it? Now let's get weird. I want you to consider a radical idea, one that shakes the very foundation of our experience. What if time isn't real? I don't mean that clocks are wrong. I mean that the very concept of a flowing universal time, the past being gone forever and the future not yet here, is an elaborate illusion created by our own consciousness. Some physicists and philosophers argue that what we call time is simply a way our brains organize the fire hose of sensory information we receive every moment. It's a mental filing system that puts events in a neat, orderly sequence. Think about it this way: your brain constructs your entire reality. The colors you see, the sounds you hear, they are all interpretations of light waves and pressure waves. Your brain takes raw data from the universe and builds a coherent story. Let's bring this cosmic idea down to earth, right into your own head. You don't need a physics lab to see how flexible and strange time can be. Think about the last 5 minutes of a boring class. Each second can feel like an eternity, stretching out into an agonizingly long period of waiting. You watch the clock, and the hand seems to be stuck, mocking you with its slow, deliberate crawl. Now contrast that with a moment of pure joy or intense focus. You're playing your favorite video game, completely absorbed in the action. You're laughing with friends, lost in conversation. You're working on a creative project and the ideas are flowing. Suddenly you look up and hours have vanished in what felt like minutes. Where did all that time go? For a long time we thought of time as absolute, a universal clock that ticked at the same rate for everyone, everywhere in the cosmos. This was the view of Isaac Newton. Then, in the early 20th century, a young patent clerk named Albert Einstein came along and completely shattered that idea. He showed us that time is not absolute, it's relative. Imagine two twins. One stays on Earth while the other hops on a super-fast spaceship and travels near the speed of light. When the traveling twin returns, they will have aged less than the twin who stayed home. But Einstein didn't stop there. His theory of general relativity took things even further. He showed that gravity can also warp time. The GPS satellites orbiting our planet have to account for this effect. This leads us to one of the most profound and honestly mind-boggling concepts in modern physics, the block universe model. I want you to imagine the entire history of the universe as a single, gigantic, four-dimensional block. Think of it like a loaf of bread. Each slice of the loaf is a moment in time, a complete snapshot of the entire universe at that instant. In this view, the past, present, and future all exist simultaneously. They are all just different locations within this four-dimensional block of space-time. There is no special now that is more real than any other moment. The flow of time that we perceive is simply our consciousness moving through these pre-existing slices, one after another. Our sense of passage is an illusion created by the way we experience this static block. Let's engage in a cosmic thought experiment. What would a universe without time even look like? If time is the measure of change, then a timeless universe would be a universe without change. It would be completely static. Imagine a photograph of the universe frozen forever. No planets orbiting suns, no stars being born or dying, no galaxies colliding. Nothing would happen, ever. Without time, there is no before and after, which means there is no cause and effect. In a truly timeless reality, the very concept of life as we know it would be impossible. Life is a process. It requires metabolism, growth, reproduction, evolution. Humans have always been fascinated by the idea of breaking the rules of time. From H.G. Wells's classic novel, The Time Machine, to movies like Back to the Future and Interstellar, our stories are filled with daring adventurers who travel to the past and future. Popular culture treats time travel like a cosmic joyride. But what does real science have to say about this? According to Einstein's relativity, traveling into the future is, in a way, entirely possible. Traveling to the past, however, is a much trickier business. If you could go back in time and prevent your parents from meeting, how could you have been born to go back in time in the first place? This is the famous grandfather paradox. Here's a puzzle that sits at the heart of this whole discussion. If the fundamental laws of physics don't care about the direction of time, why does our universe? This one-way direction of time is what scientists call the arrow of time. The thermodynamic arrow of time is tied to the second law of thermodynamics. This law states that entropy, a measure of disorder, always tends to increase. A neat room becomes messy. Hot coffee cools down. Think of it like shuffling a deck of cards. It's easy to go from perfect order to random disorder, but incredibly unlikely to shuffle randomly and return to perfect order. The universe is playing a similar game of cosmic shuffleboard. We've journeyed from the clock on your wall to the edge of the cosmos, from the workings of your brain to the very beginning of the universe. We've seen that time is not the simple, steady river we imagine it to be. So we are left with a profound and personal question. Does time make us, or do we make time? Is our life a journey along a pre-written path, or are we the authors of our own story? Perhaps the answer is a little of both. Your time is not my time. The time you feel when you're bored is different from the time you feel when you're in love. I want to leave you with a sense of wonder. The next time you look up at the night sky, remember that you are also looking back in time. The universe is a time machine. And you, with your curious, questioning mind, are the explorer. So keep asking the big questions. Keep wondering. Because in the quest to understand the cosmos, every question is a step forward in time and knowledge.